before I expound what we read, I'll read it again. The Master said, humans bestow blessings or commit transgressions with their body, mouth, and mind. Sages who know the way put emphasis on the formless mind, while ordinary people are afraid of nothing but what is manifest. The perspicacious empty Dharma realm responds to what happens in the formless mind. Hence, we should be careful about our words and deeds, and we should be more afraid of any evil karma committed by our mind, taking care of what is before its manifestation. And section 48 says, the Master said, if you make people cherish grudges and discontents in their hearts, they become your own formless prison. The fundamental origin of all that is blameworthy and brings about bad karma is in the mind. Do not cause enmity, no matter how small it may be, in someone's heart, for it becomes the seed of all evil affinities. This is a very important Dharma sermon by Master Chung. It's because all the good and bad karma come from our mind. So our mind. And if our mind is somehow out of order, or broken, or contaminated with the virus, then all kinds of bad things come out of our mind. I just saw the computer. The computer has like almost the infinite capacity of producing the good things, but if it is somehow mismanaged and if somehow it functions incorrectly, then it gives people a harder time, the user. And sometimes if you don't know what to click, if simply miss one click and you don't know what is behind the program, it's just as simple as that. Just if you miss one click and the computer doesn't function as it should. Human mind too. We talk about enlightenment to our own Buddha nature. And somehow, if we are not enlightened to our own Buddha nature, our mind will be like a computer. Everything is there, but it doesn't function if you don't know how to click that one. You know, I think you understand that, our mind is. So, throughout the history of Buddhism, the emphasis was put on being enlightened to your own Buddha nature. And that's actually alpha and omega of the whole of Buddhist teaching. So how do you know whether you are enlightened to your own Buddha nature or not? Also, when your Buddha mind functions, sometimes you just don't know whether your Buddha mind is functioning or not. You call it Skype? This morning we talked to Daniel in Seoul, and at the beginning Daniel saw us face, and later somehow it malfunctioned and only could hear the voice, but not the face. Without that Skype, you cannot hear or see or anything. And those people who are not enlightened to their Buddha mind, it's like having a Skype, the whole system, but it doesn't work. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything. Yeah, makes sense? So, and if you don't hear anything, don't see anything, it's no good. Some people have some kind of enlightenment to their own nature, so they can hear the voice, but they cannot see. Still, they haven't seen their original nature, Buddha nature. Okay, and our goal is to see, not only hear the voice of the Buddha's mind, but also we have to be able to see the Buddha's face, and that's our goal. And these days, you know, these instruments and things are helping us a lot. It's very interesting. Now, the mind we just read is something invisible. We read in the mind is invisible. And ordinary people pay attention to what is manifest. I mean, those things, what they can see and hear and so on. But ordinary people don't pay attention to their own invisible mind. You know, mind, the Buddha mind is there, but they don't pay attention to that one. While all those good or evil karma and evil karma are created by the mind. Even though the mind is malfunctioning means the Buddha mind is covered with three poisons of greed, anger, and the stupidity, delusions, and then they don't see the good things inside. So our purpose is to remove those three poisons of greed, anger, and delusions, which cover up our mind. And you know what happens when your Buddha mind is covered up with the three poisons? And if you know it becomes your second nature, then it forms your personality. And you show to other people what kind of person you are. So you have to be very careful with your own mind, because you know, there's a broken tin can. Whenever you beat it, it gives the noise, not very good sound. Some silver plate, if you hit it, it gives a very good sound. Some people are like, the silver plate. No matter what situations, always you hear the good sound. But some other people, even in good surroundings, good situations, simply opens his or her mouth, then we hear harsh